Hey guys, it's Chris. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Let me first say that it feels really good to be filming right now. This is the first video I've filmed in a while where I actually feel like I want to talk, and the past few videos I filmed have been really hard for me to film, and now I'm kind of like, okay, you know what? It's a new day, it's a new week, and I feel good. These past few weeks have been interesting and challenging, as you all probably know. State of the world is kind of at a big pause right now, and it's just a really questionable and confusing time for us all, and I wanted to make a video today. I had a few ideas to film today regarding some topics. I wanted to film a video on eating disorders on TikTok and that content on there, and I had another idea about something else, but it didn't feel really appropriate to be talking about any of those things without first kind of addressing the elephant in the room and talking to you guys and kind of giving a life update, but also kind of like how I am, and hopefully advice to you on how to cope with what's going on and how to ease some of the anxieties regarding, you know, this virus. The most important thing to realize is that nobody really knows how to react, and like, this is so new for everybody on the planet. Well, I guess, you know, not really. There's been other outbreaks before, but at least for me, like, I've never gone into quarantine. I've never been under like a shelter-in-place order by my governor. You know, like, it's like so new for so many of us, and I think just recognizing that there's no right way to act or to react. I'm sure all of us can agree that our lives have just been switched upside down. I've been technically laid off from my job, but with a promise of it having it back if I wish after this is all finished. I have to file for unemployment on April 1st. Luckily my schooling is online, so there's no real changes there, but I know my friend, she is online schooling now, and it's just so, I feel like this all happened so quickly. This is kind of like I don't know, because when this all first kind of began, I found myself, and I still do find myself, kind of resorting to behaviors and, yeah, to kind of cope with it all. And because, you know, it felt familiar, it felt, okay, well, I'm being told to, you know, keep myself busy and do what I know and know a routine and keep my routine, and what am I good at doing? You know, and I think of all these horrible disordered things, and I think, well, that's like familiar for me to do. It's been harder to, which is good, it's been harder to, I mean, that's not good, this part's good. It's been harder to act down on those things because my family is, like, you know, all here, and my mom and my dad, so I can't, like, you know, not eat for 3 days. But oh, that was dark. Wanted to talk today about some of the ways I am coping with things and how I think maybe you can as well. Some tips for what's going on and just how to manage your days, because for me, my days have just been like, oh my gosh, like, I do nothing. I wake up, I film a TikTok or two, I do homework, then I eat and go to sleep. It's not exciting. And then I thought to myself, you know, this is a good time to actually focus on myself, or focus on my book, or focus on just getting back into things I like doing, like reading. I haven't read a book in so long. Like, I love to read. Scrapbooking, I love to scrapbook. So anyway, this is like kind of going to the topic of this video. So yes, my first thing I want to talk about is creating a routine for yourself. And for me, the biggest thing of that includes what time I'm waking up. Now, for me, I love sleeping in. I love sleeping in until like noon, but when I do that, I wake up and I feel really disgusting. I feel like I just wasted my whole day away, and then I feel like I cannot do anything else for the entire day. However, waking up early, which I'm very used to doing with my job, I'm used to waking up at like 3, 4 a.m. almost every day of the week. But like now that I don't go to work, it's like, oh my god, I gotta wake up at 7 a.m. Like it's not a thing that I do. And it's hard to wake up early sometimes, but I found that when I do wake up early and I get things done, I feel really good, and I feel like, wow, this was not a waste of a day. For the past 3 days, I've been waking up early, going out for a walk, walking my dog. My dog is loving this quarantine, by the way. He's getting like 5 walks per day. Just doing like small things that seem kind of insignificant, but you know, like waking up and showering. Okay, you're like clean and you feel good. Waking up and doing some homework or filming a video or journaling or writing, doing something to just kind of create that routine for yourself that you can kind of follow throughout the entirety of this kind of situation that we're in, that we don't really know how long it's going to be. And of course, in the routine, you also have to take care of yourself and eat. And something I found that I'm doing a lot is eating a lot of snacks and like not really anything remotely healthy. And you know, it's okay to not eat, you know, healthy 24/7, like that's a whole other thing. But for me, you know, I have to stop myself from eating like 3 bags of family-sized chips every morning, because then I won't eat a breakfast or a lunch or a dinner because I'm so full. And when I kind of just like think about that too much, you know, it's all very much, you know, disordered eating, in my opinion. But I think just eating throughout the day for me is what's difficult, because all I want to do is like eat candy and eat chips and all this like, you know, stuff. And I'm like, wait, if I don't eat that, you know, if I eat that, I'm not going to be hungry for an actual meal. But I want to eat that, and I want to listen to my mind and think, okay, well, you're allowed to eat, you know, a bag of chips, but then I won't be hungry. So, you know, it's just a constant cycle in my brain. In my brain. My voice just cracks. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. You know, I could talk about that forever. The next thing I want to talk about is going to therapy and going to, I don't know, see, I don't really have much experience with like an eating disorder doctor or a nutritionist outside of my treatment center. You know, years ago, the only treatment I currently do is therapy once every other week, and we have gone telemedicine, I think that's like the proper terminology for it. My therapist and I FaceTime, or we use Zoom, or we use Doxy. You know, there's many websites where you and your therapist can still interact in like a HIPAA compliant setting. There's a lot of weird logistics into that, and I only know that because my dad is a psychologist and he's been kind of learning the ropes of that. And you know, it's very new. And when I first thought about FaceTiming my therapist, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little like, okay, that's gonna be really weird. I hate talking on the phone. FaceTime isn't that bad. See, I would rather FaceTime than talk on a phone, because on a phone you're just like either talking or waiting to talk, and then FaceTime you can actually see the person. So I'd rather FaceTime. And what I could just say is I've only done it once. I actually have therapy tomorrow. Alright, yeah, and it wasn't nearly as bad as I would have thought it was, or awkward. I made a TikTok about FaceTiming like your therapist, like a joke about it, and some people were commenting saying like, oh my gosh, I have this in a few days. I'm so nervous, I hate talking on the phone. And I completely understand everything about that, but it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. I know everyone's comfort level is different, and everyone's relationship with their therapist is different. My therapists were like very, very close. So I guess if you're able to, if you know, have the ability to keep up with those sessions, it's a very, very important. Even if you think they aren't really helping you, or you're not really talking about things, like my therapist and I talk about eating disorder topics like probably 10% of the hour that we have together. which, you know, makes you think, well, it's not really a lot. Do I really need this? But then when I go 4 or 5 weeks without seeing her, you know, I just fall back to a really, really dark place. So just seeing that, you know, that familiar face and that support system is so important. And again, if you have the ability to, or the funds to, I know that's a whole other thing, to continue seeing your therapist, I definitely recommend that. Alright, so something else I want to talk about is social media and getting updates on the virus, because I have a friend, you know, I'm not too sensitive to that kind of stuff, but my friend, she had to completely delete her Twitter account because she couldn't like deal with all the constant stories coming out about the virus and the anxiety around it. So I definitely recommend like limiting the amount of information you receive, or I know that that same friend, she only looks at like one website every morning to get the latest news, and that's it. I think you know, it's scary hearing the news and having the TV on. It's important to know what's going on, I think, but just the constant like talking about it is very anxiety producing, and you know, just kind of limit yourself to what you expose yourself to and be careful, because too much is like not a good thing. And to distract yourself, I think, you know, it's good to get back into old hobbies, find things that you love to do that maybe you didn't have the opportunity to do, like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. Like, I'm working on my book a lot more. I'm, what am I doing? I'm playing a lot of board games with my family. That's really fun. I'm playing on my Nintendo Switch a lot. Just like silly things that like distract me and make me feel like a normal person. You know, that's a good thing. Even just like showering or taking a bath. Like, just keeping busy, but having a balance between keeping busy and also allowing yourself to like take a nap if you have to. I'm totally for that. And the last thing I want to talk about is maybe one of the hardest things I've had to do during this time, and that is grocery shop. And I know that's challenging for a lot of people now anyways, but for those of us who are recovering from an eating disorder, that trip to the grocery store is nerve-wracking in and of itself, and just this heightened sensitivity around it all, you know, is very challenging. And I used to go grocery shopping a lot. I would maybe go once or twice a week. I'm not a big fan of buying things in bulk or buying food for like 5 my voice keeps cracking, or like 5 days ahead or 6 days ahead, because just it's like triggering for me in a weird way, just like seeing all the food. But now that we are under this, you know, situation that has led us to kind of, well, I guess you don't have to, but at least for me, I've, you know, gone to the grocery store a few times in the past few weeks, and I've purchased a lot of food because, you know, I feel like I should. I feel like I have to have it just in case. It's kind of like this panic that sets in, like, oh my god, I don't have bread. Oh, I don't really eat bread, but what if I need bread? You know what I mean? So, and what's challenging the most for me is coming home and seeing all the food that I purchased, like, on the floor, and like before I put it away. Something about that moment is like very triggering for me. Just thinking like, oh my god, I have all this food. And that's not something I would do prior. You know, prior I would go to the store multiple times a week, so I didn't have that moment of, oh my gosh, I just bought so much food, and all this food is I'm gonna eat all this food, and all this food is gonna make me, you know, feel a type of way. So that's been challenging, and I guess I don't really know how to respond to that, but I guess, again, it just all goes back to the fact that this is all so new for all of us. This is a very, very challenging time. It's supposed to be a very, very challenging time. If anything, this is like a worst case scenario for someone like in recovery. Well, for everybody, but for those of us in recovery, you know, our eating disorders love isolation, and they thrive in environments where there is no contact with people and there are no connections with others. And you know, it's, I think also just recognizing that like this is a worst case scenario is kind of like uplifting, because if you can make it through this, you could really make it through anything, you know? It's crazy. But anyway, I just wanted to finish this video off by saying how much I love all of you, and I hope you are all staying safe. It's just been heartbreaking, everything going on, and God forbid any of you guys or know somebody or who's been struggling with the actual virus. I cannot imagine what that is like. I could like cry thinking about it because it is so sad. Everything is just so different. It all happened so quickly, and I don't know, but I hope you guys are staying safe. I love you all so much, and I hope either next week or in 2 weeks I could have a video up that's a little distracting from all of this. I thought, you know, I should film a video like about my doll collection or something funny to distract, you know, myself and distract you, but again, it just didn't feel right to talk about anything else before I address this. Anyway, I love you all so much. I hope you all are staying well, and you could always message me on Instagram or anywhere if you want to chat or check in. I am always here. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all very soon. Alright, bye guys.